What is up guys, Wraec is here with a new video, and today I want to talk about the number one thing that has been bothering me in Idle Heroes in the past months. Just be a quick video about it. I want to start off with a bit of an explanation, because I know for this topic a lot of people won't yet have the issue, but it is something that is in the future. Basically, with further progress you will unlock this problem. Isn't that great? That is superb. I love it. So the thing is, it is about star souls, and as you know, I do have all the star souls. Comes with being a content creator, of course, as I want to show you all of those skills, and I want to show you whether or not those star souls are good. And those star souls, well, they all excel in different game modes. Let's say, for example, Spectre. I love it on my LFA. It is a great star soul there. It gives him energy, it gives him all damage dealt, makes it in general quite great to use him. But it is also great on other heroes. In another game mode, let's say for example PvP, LFA isn't quite that great, but the star soul certainly is. It allows you to kind of avoid a few of these snow hard energy drains and give your hero a higher chance to do an active skill on turn 1. So I could imagine it being great on, let's say, an SDE for example, or an SSM. And for other star souls that is the case too. Nova is a great example for it. The common meta for PvP is to use it on LBRM because it provides a massive damage over time effect that will absolutely destroy your enemies. But in PvE, it is often used to provide the damage over time effect, a burn, for Phoenix use. So you use it on a hero that is relatively fast, and for Flame Shrine, for example, I use my Madeline because she's a great hero for that. So I like to have it there. For Star Expedition, you of course do have heroes too that require your star souls, and then there is the new game mode, I think it's called Forbidden Zone, which also requires you to fight bosses. And so you basically need to switch your star souls around if you want to have the optimal performance in every single game mode, which, given that this is a game where many players compete a lot, where they try to get into IDA, into the top ranks, or guilds compete against each other in Ace Championship, it is to be expected that a lot of players will want to do as well as they possibly can. And that requires you to move your star souls around. And to do that, it kind of changes what you need to do depending on the level of the star soul. It starts off at the low levels where you basically can just decide to click on the transfer button and move the star soul to another hero with just one click. That is basically the greatest thing ever. I love it when those star souls are still at the low level and we can do that. But later on, you can already see there is this thing called quest progress up here. And to transfer this star soul, basically the game requires you to fulfill a certain number of tasks. There is an item associated with it that lets you skip them, those tasks. They introduce this a little bit later on down the line, but it is fairly limited. Usually you find it within summon prizes. I'm not sure, I think I saw it in Profit Op once, but I wouldn't bet on it. It is right down the line here, we see it right there, the Star Transferring Cube, which lets you skip one of the quest steps, not all of them. So to fully skip a Star Soul quest, you would need to use 3 of those cubes. And you can see there is one in here at 500 points in the Heroic Summon event, and you can only complete this 4 times. That means basically you can move 1 Star Soul with it. Well, 1 1/3 Star Souls. There is a trick to kind of, well, save a little bit on those cubes, because if you check out the quest, some of those are a lot easier, and some of those don't require us to use that many resources. A fairly easy one is to obtain Ember Coral. For that we just have to harvest resources within the map for a certain amount of time. Usually it takes like 15 minutes or something, and then you are done with it. So skipping this is almost completely useless. I think I only skipped it once during a live stream where, of course, well, it would be kind of annoying to wait for 15 minutes. But this is something that you can do. To complete the Star Wars world, though, it becomes quite annoying. And if you have never seen it, maybe we just go in there and at the same time complete one. Usually I start by just uncovering the entire map to kind of just see where I can go and where all the things are on the emulator. This is a little bit annoying because for whatever reason it didn't let me zoom out recently, which was a little bit bad. But I just checked again, it is fixed. I just have to press Control and then I can use the mouse wheel to do that. So that works again. I think that was on the Google Play emulator where it didn't work. But you can see I just basically use the tiles here to kind of find the right position to move around in an optimal manner, to just basically uncover the map in as few steps as I can. It isn't really a limiting factor, to be honest. In theory, it is. If you want to do multiple maps, it can become a limiting factor because you can't buy those infinitely. And of course, the gem cost is annoying for a lot of people as well. So that is something that we have there as well. But then we basically just go around, remove the fog, which is still a very annoying thing. I remember the first days where we didn't have like the thin fog, where we could see all the things, but it was only the thick one. This was something they actually added later. It used to be even more annoying. But you basically just go around here, you find all the things, and then for the... I will just do it now though. And then basically for the first quest, it requires you to farm those white skulls over here. So the basic enemies, the ones that are a little bit easier, the blue ones, and those are very easy. You can just go over there and basically one-shot them. It does count when you use the Spectre Star Soul for it. So that is something that you can do as well. If you want to go ahead and basically do it like this. This will also work for the quest and will also remove it. But it just takes a certain amount of time. It just is rather annoying. You have to remove all the clouds, you have to go in there, you have to farm those. And of course, every single fight that you don't do with the Star Soul removes 1 stamina. So you can only do a certain amount of attacks per day. Usually it is 15, I think. I think it regenerates 10, and then you have an additional 5 that you can buy, which means you can basically do the attacks for 1.5 Star Souls every single day. But the main problem that I have with it is, on the one hand, it takes a rather long time, and on the other hand, it just becomes very, very tedious. And both of those aspects have certain problems associated with it. And I just want to start with the tedious aspect, because that is the more graspable one, and probably the one that even the people that don't really have to do this right now, because they maybe just have one hero where they have a Star Soul on and don't really have enough Star Souls to move them around, because that requires you to kind of have like more of an endgame account. That you can understand, because like when I just go out there and I have to do basically my Star Expedition, I switch around usually like 3 Star Souls. If I go into Ace, it can be like 4 Star Souls, and then there is another problem with it, and that is basically that sometimes you don't even have the time to do it, but that is something we'll do in the next point. So it just becomes tedious to go around the map to click those targets. It has really zero challenge to it once you have an established account that needs to do this a lot, because those enemies, well, we can maybe watch one fight, maybe we just watch the next one, then you can kind of get an idea how this works out and how challenging this is for such an account, even on the highest level, because the amount of time that you need for those quests, it does change. The higher the Star Soul level, the more fights you basically have to do, or the more resources you have to mine to get your map exploration progress in order. And this is just not something that I want to do every single day. Because the thing, and that was something we have to see for Idle Heroes as well, Idle Heroes has very early understood that the players don't really want to do mundane daily tasks. And that is why they have introduced Idlemaster. Idlemaster is probably the most supreme feature in all of idle gaming that I have really seen. You don't want to know how tedious some games are with their daily tasks. And if you play multiple gacha games, you understand that it can be quite annoying if you have like 2, 3, 4 games. I know some of you guys play a lot of different games, and you have to switch between them, and you just have to do your dailies. It becomes draining. In AFK Journey, I recently made a video where I said, basically, just the stuff that I have to do daily takes around 10 minutes or something, because you have to grind some stages there too, some of which doesn't require you to be at the phone. But you throw your phone somewhere 10, 15, 20 minutes, and it will just lay there and do this grind, which is just annoying. It's not something that you want to go into the game for. If you go into the game, you want to do an event, you want to do your Star Expedition, you want to do some PvP, you are looking forward to the fun stuff. You are not looking forward to do a Star Whisper World 154,505. You are not looking forward to that. Nobody is, because it is just annoying. And certainly not something that we want to do. And from this perspective alone, if you have to do this every single day of the week, do you really want that? And I would argue the answer for basically everybody should be no. If your answer is yes, then you are probably very weird. I just want to tell you that. Maybe get that checked out. I don't know. But yeah, it's probably not something that you want to do. And if you guys didn't know that, because I know there's some people that always ask about stuff like this. Mine fights do give you map exploration progress. The blue ones give you less map exploration progress than the purple ones, but we do require 10 of the blue ones to complete our quest, so we do that. And then the other thing that you really want to do is you want to mine resources, and you can do that with multiple teams. First of all, you want to mine resources because that gives you map exploration progress. And then you want to mine resources because you do actually need some of those. Specifically, we had one quest for Ember Coral, which is this one, where we have to get 100. 100 doesn't take a long time. You usually have 2 spots on the map where you can find the resources from the quest. And you can see the speed right now is 32 per 5 minutes. So with 2, we have 64, meaning we just have to wait 10 minutes and this would be completed. I just throw all my teams now in here. I might as well complete this, this quest at the same time. And then we have to kind of get to the second aspect. Not only is this, of course, annoying and something we don't necessarily want to do every single day, but sometimes you can't. And that, I think, is something that took away a lot of fun from the game for me. Why is that the case? So let's check it out. Actually, the usual scenario that we had in the recent times is that we had Ace Championship. Ace Championship started. Then we had 2 days later Star Expedition starting. You can see both of those modes are running right now at the same time, Star Expedition and Ace Championship. And then 2 days after that, or a few days after that, we had Interdimensional Arena. And in this case scenario, it is a little bit further away, but the order is still the same. Ace Championship, Star Expedition, and then Interdimensional Arena. So what does this mean? Ace Championship is a PvP game mode. Star Expedition is the main PvE game mode, and then we have a PvP game mode again. So for all of those, and I can't forget to grind that again. I'm horrible with that. My God, I always do it. I always forget it. So first you want to set up for Ace Championship, meaning you do your PvP stuff. You move your Star Soul, your Nova Star Soul to LBRM. Maybe you move your Pupil Star Soul onto IHP in this case, I usually do, or maybe you want to have your Spectre on like Oscar, whatever you run. It doesn't really matter, but you will have a certain PvP scenario or certain PvP heroes that are not really used in Star Expedition for the most case, because, well, LFA in PvP is not really that great. And then you basically, oh, we have Kill Cop here. Nice. From my guild, that is great. And then you have the PvE game mode coming up, meaning after you switched everything for Ace, you now have 2 days, or this time around 0 days, to switch everything over for Star Expedition again. That means either you have prepped all of your transfers before the game mode started, which is means what you can do is you can go ahead and obviously I could transfer my Pupil Star Soul to my IHP then, and then I could have the entire quest done on IHP to transfer it back. But that means I have to do one transfer to get it on IHP and then do the next quest already to get it ready. And I would have to do that for every single Star Soul I want to transfer. If I have another one to do, then basically I spend like 2 weeks doing Star Soul quest or something if I just have to do this with 4 Star Souls, because there's already like 8 maps or something, which is crazy. So that is really annoying. But then you have Star Expedition running, and oftentimes during Star Expedition, Interdimensional Arena ends. So either I set up my team way early, which is during Ace Championship, which I really can't because the team format changes. After the end of Interdimensional Arena, we go to 10 teams, and obviously then I would have to set up my team again. And this is again during the time of Star Expedition. Let's check it out. We're on at 73 hours. How long does Star Expedition run? 77 hours. Okay, this is a little bit shorter this time. This time it works out halfway. Usually it doesn't. Sometimes it ends during Star Expedition. So you can't even set this up, meaning for the most part what happens is Star Expedition is running, I put effort towards it, then I feel like a little bit tired of the game, which isn't bad. I don't mean like in the sense of quitting, but it works out for me as that I say, okay, I just want to take a little bit of time off, maybe do a video that I care for, but not really too much interaction with the game. And then I just don't prepare for IDA at all. And I'm not prepared for the #1 game mode. This used to be a game mode where we really fought to get the best ranks. this used to be insane. I remember the first seasons of it, where basically everybody was trying to get those #1 spots, and people were going for it hard. The first people that really went for like the top spots. And fun fact, if you didn't know that, you can still check out the fights. It is really interesting that this is a thing that we can do in this game. But all the fights are still here, and we can watch like the top fights for this category. Basically during the time where they were there, which I think is absolutely gorgeous to see those old fights with the E5 heroes and everything. Absolutely insane. Love it. But it is weird to not set up for game mode. I skipped Forbidden Zone, the new boss game mode, recently, because it was like during a time where I tested for PvP, and I just wouldn't have needed like 3-4 days to set up or something, which I thought was ridiculous. So I didn't really go for it. And when I test the hero, it sometimes can be really difficult to kind of get into game modes as well. So that is something where I say the game really screws with its potential, because the time that we need to transfer those star souls results in me not participating in game modes, and even in new game modes like Forbidden Zone that the Age obviously wants to succeed. And that is a big problem. By the way, absolutely gorgeous chicken skin here on the Garuda. I had that. I was so happy that I had that. But that was basically one of the top fights for IDA back then. Insane. Love it. Oh, here with the horrors as well, with the horror skin. We can watch that too. It's kind of funny. And yeah, so I kind of think the Age really is making a mistake here. They started this off, and they often do that for the new power creeps, where they say, okay, we don't really want to allow the players to transfer it for multiple reasons. It switches a little bit, but it can result in a higher demand for the resources if you can't transfer them to other heroes. That is one part of the reason, but they usually don't allow for big flexibility. It is right now something that is dampening my fun of the game, and I think more people will slowly come to the realization that this is a problem with Star Souls that the Age should solve. And I know that for a lot of people right now this isn't an issue. I discussed it with a few people in the Discord already, and got some a little bit, well, unreflected opinions. But I'm pretty sure that you guys can think about a future situation where you maybe have like 6 Star Souls or 5 Star Souls or something, and kind of would prefer them on different heroes. And you can see that you maybe don't really want to do all of those Star Soul quests, and that doing that every day would be annoying. So with that in mind, I don't really expect too much of a support on this video, if I'm honest, because I know that not too many people are here. But if you don't really want to do that, then maybe just hit the like button so this video gets a bit of traction. And if you are already annoyed with it, then just leave a comment down below, because more transfer opportunities, more flexibility, that equals more fun to me, and hopefully for you too. Other than that, hit the subscribe button. If you need some cheap starry gems, you can always go to SG Hub, link is down in the description. We are still running the Stripe discount, so you get 1 USD per 2,500 starry gems discount, not final price. We had a few people asking for that. You can find our price list on the server there, but it's around 75 to 80% cheaper than in-game, so definitely would use it, definitely recommend that. Other than that, I just wish you a great day. We'll see us in the next one.